That was fun.
I've been working on that all day.
You want to hear one of my favorite, like, not so PC jokes?
Oh, yeah.
What do gay horses eat? Hey. What do butch horses eat? Hey. Don't write me. Don't at me.
Sarah told me, by the way, this is episode 255. When we were in Thailand on the ruins, you told another offensive joke that still makes me laugh.
What is it? I can't wait.
It's the rollerblading one.
This is a joke that I have since heard many people say. And I'd like to say that I was on it like 10 plus years ago.
Ahead of your time, but also behind.
What's the most difficult thing about rollerblading, Susie?
What, Sarah?
Telling your parents you're gay. For the record, I love rollerblading, and I identify as...
Not straight.
Not straight. So therefore, I can make that joke.
When you think of the joke, do you think of a woman?
Nope.
I've always thought of a guy.
Of course.
Okay.
And you know the show, there's like a character on the show Reno 911 who wears the short shorts, and I feel like he maybe has rollerblades. If he doesn't, somebody should get him those for Christmas.
But like, have you ever told the joke to other gay people? And do they think it's funny?
No, and probably not.
Well, because
I don't know.
Most people don't rollerblade anymore, so maybe it's outdated.
But then it's back, because so are like, oh my God, 90s fashion.
Yeah.
Can we just put a nail in the coffin of the Junko jeans? Because I saw those back and I was like, please God, they're back from the dead. And what? I really thought it was like just for like Halloween and this was a joke.
Sarah, true story. My road rules was so long ago.
Oh my God, you wore those.
They gave them to us as
Susie.
like trade Jinko jeans.
If you would have held on to them.
I'm going to find a picture of me.
And now they're, okay, so back in the day, the baggy pants were a super big thing. And then in Southern California, if you were a dude, you were probably a skater.
Yeah.
So the thing was to cut the bottom of them. So they were like cropped.
Oh, no.
Well, now
Capri.
that's the style.
Oh, no.
They're cropped wide leg jeans, which is, I'm like, this was skater wear in 1994. And all the guys I had crushes on, so.
Is it popular for boys right now?
No, girls.
Oh, it's a girl thing.
But then I was looking at Instagram, and sometimes, all going down the hole of weird fashion trends. Oh, it was because I was looking at Balenciaga's new fashion. Do you see their jacket that's like 9 jackets in one?
No.
They're charging $9,000 for this thing. It, no joke, looks like the episode of Friends where Joey puts on all of his clothes. That is exactly what it looks like. And I very rarely tweet, and I tweeted out Balenciaga's trolling all of us with the picture of that.
And I missed it.
I was like, this is definitely, like, they're definitely fucking with us.
My God.
Yeah.
$9,000
$9,000, and all it looks like is like a flannel over a fleece, over a blazer, over a parka, over another parka, over another flannel.
Do you go seeking out this stuff?
No.
Because you're not like a fashionista in your life.
You are correct, Susie. That would be a fair statement to make.
But yet you know all about these trends all the time.
You're right, I do.
What's that about?
It's almost like I like to live on the outside and just look in.
Yeah.
I'm like, I'm not going to wear that shit, but I really want to
You want to know about it.
I want to know about it. I mean, my mom was a wardrobe stylist.
Right.
So I think it's kind of like in my blood.
Yeah, but I'm not like looking up Port Authority bus schedules.
But, okay, what? Because your dad... But your mom's religious and you became a doctor of theology, so...
That's not the same.
Sort of.
If you had
Religious
become
studies.
a wardrobe person, then now we have a comparison. I'll have a look at that picture, though.
But I had a crazy psychic premonition the other day, and then it came true. And it was like not a little one. Like I had a premonition that a woman's dress was going to catch on fire, and it actually caught on fire.
In front of you?
Yep.
What happened?
I was at a new full moon.
Oh, Jesus
Yep,
Christ.
exactly what you think it is. Like full moon, like setting your intentions, like,
Are you where? Did you even find out about this?
Through one of my friends, and we're like very... Oh my God, this totally brings me to the things I have to talk about today. You're barely gonna get a word in today. Anyways, I went to this like it's not a full moon party. That's like Thailand where they drink funny tea.
You did say that.
No, it was like you sit in a circle and you like set your intention for the month, and you like talk about like what this moon means and like spirituality stuff and like blah. And as we were there meditating, like laying on the floor, I had this thought. I was like, something's about to catch on fire. I wonder if there's a candle on in my house. I feel like my house is good. What's about to catch on fire?
But you were always thinking that.
Well, yeah, probably. But like I really had this legit thought, like something is stronger than normal. And then 2 seconds later, this woman was like, my dress! And she started hitting it because her skirt caught the candles that were on the floor.
What?
Mm-hmm. And I was like, dude, I totally saw that in my brain 30 seconds ago.
Whoa.
So I'm probably psychic or something.
But of no use because you keep it to yourself.
Yeah, I'm like a selfish witch. Introverted witch. Totally.
I cannot believe this is something you want to be a part of.
Oh, I love it.
And
it's not just, it's
how
getting
many times
in touch.
did you cry at it?
None.
Okay.
I didn't cry at all, and I didn't even say a word. I didn't talk the whole time. I was like, you know what, I'm going to go and I'm going to be a silent observer. And I'm just going to like let other people share. But I had a really interesting experience because there was one male in the group.
Oh, boy.
And
Does he rollerblade?
No, he does not strike me as a rollerblader. But we got to go around the room and like you could share your intention if you wanted to. And like sometimes if you wanted to speak up and you wanted to talk, you know, the floor was open to do so. This guy talked. Yeah, Susie's face says it all right now.
Oh my God.
Way more than everybody else. And it was like he recently came in. This whole thing is like new moon goddess, like blah, blah, blah. And this guy's basically mansplaining female energy to us, is what it felt like. I was like, oh my God, I can't believe this guy is the one controlling the conversation.
Yeah, dominating.
He totally was. And I was like, I wonder if and women changed the way that they spoke to make it more gender inclusive. And I'm like, they wouldn't do it for you.
Right.
I was like, furious.
Was
and then
he
I was like, you know what, I
with
can't talk.
someone?
No, he's like recently discovered spirituality and like all this
Gross.
stuff. And he's like, which is like great for him on his spiritual journey. But I'm like,
It's great for him.
boy, bye. We have all been doing this for years and don't even start with me. And I was raised like this and all of us women were, and welcome to the club.
It would be like if I went to a Black Lives Matter meeting and then started
Yes, it would.
the most dominant voice in the room.
Which I'm sure happens sometimes
True,
with
but
white
it's
people.
gross.
It's super gross. And this guy, in my mind, I'm like, oh God, this is so dumb. But like, we're good for you, buddy. And some woman's going to be real lucky. But you know,
Imagine how annoying someone would have to be to be the most annoying person
Right?
at a new moon party.
right? So I was like, I loved it, and I was like the least annoying person. But that brings me to one of the things that I wanted to discuss with you,
Good
Susie.
Lord.
Did
What?
you see
What?
the witch kits that Sephora was going to sell, but then it got pulled?
No.
Oh my God, I'm so excited that you haven't heard about this. Okay, so there's a company that's
witch
based
kit.
out of San Francisco. And
Yeah.
let me get the name of it because I want to make sure I give them credit. They're called Penrose. Penrose is the company, and they're a San Francisco company, and they call it the Starter Witch Kit.
Oh Lord.
So in this kit are some fragrances, a bundle of white sage, a rose quartz, and a tarot card deck.
I like it.
I like it too.
I like
Sells
what
at
I'm
$40. People are outraged.
Who?
Everyone. So Wiccans are outraged because they're like, if you think that you're going to, like, this is sacred stuff, if people really want to get into this, then let them do it the right way. It's definitely not with a $42 kit at Sephora that is like, you know. And then people who are Native American are really against the use of white sage, like how they're like using white sage, and everybody, all these white girls are like smudging and blah, 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 but nobody knows how it's really used ceremoniously and all this stuff. And I kind of get both, you know, I kind of get it. I'm like anti the witch kit too, even though I'm so pro witch.
I just feel like then don't buy one. Why do you have to pull it from the shelf?
Yeah, but it's almost like, so they were saying that it's like, I don't know, to profit off of something that is.
May I introduce you to religion from the beginning of time?
That's why I wrote cross necklaces, ? On my paper, because I'm like, wow, people were outraged, and I really get it, but how come we're not really pissed at everybody for selling cross necklaces?
Or even like if you wanted to compare it with something kitschy, there's plenty of like Jesus and Moses.
Oh my
crap
God, you're
that's
totally
supposed
right.
to be funny.
Yeah.
That you know.
And I
is
think that's
profit.
cool.
Of
like,
course
now
it
when I say,
is.
because I remember the very first deck of cards. I got like a witchy deck of cards
God.
when I was little, and I loved it. I was like, you know, and we grew up with that
I
kind
like
of
that.
pagan.
I love it.
Like, that was kind of what we learned at home. You know, my mom was like, we went to Native American ceremonies all the time. You know?
Right.
Yeah.
I support all of it. I don't care who profits from what.
I just had a little bit of a problem with Sephora being like, they pulled it.
Why
they were
is
like,
it
we hear you. We're not going to put it out there. We're taking it down. I was more outraged at the price. I'm like, $42. If you were to
you're the dummy that buys
stuff,
it, then that's your problem.
Sage, it's $2 for a bundle. A rose quartz is going to cost you $1.50.
Yeah.
And a nice tarot deck is maybe $15.
It's just a cute
like
gift,
$20
though,
max.
too. Like, I think it's a cute gift, and you're not going to just buy some sage.
People disagree with you, so.
I hate people, though.
I know.
But I do love another ritual, which is ritual vitamins.
Oh, my God, if that wasn't the most perfect segue ever.
Thank you! Ritual vitamins are the only vitamins that I can even handle because I get sick if I take the normal ones. And these are special because they are flavored with a natural mint essential oil, so they don't taste like garbage and make you sick. And they're time released, so you don't get nauseous. And they fill in the gaps where your food isn't providing you all the vitamins you need. 95% of women don't get the vitamins and minerals they need on a daily basis. And Ritual created a smarter vitamin with those 9 essential ingredients women lack most. So it's got vitamin D, omega-3, all that good stuff. You just I take mine at night, every night when I take my birth control and,
oh, look at that.
You know, whatever else I got cooking, mainly anti-anxiety pills. But it's just part of my routine. So I do it every day. And then it comes to my door automatically when I'm running low. It's so great. So if you go to ritual.com/braincandy, choose clean ingredients backed by science. Sign up now at ritual.com/braincandy to get those. And you tell me if you like them, because I'm a believer.
I already know the answer. They do.
Right.
Yeah.
Duh.
Duh.
I'm sitting over here. Did you have another story?
I have so many.
Okay, I'll just let you go.
No,
I
please
like it.
Chime in.
Well, I was going to say I'm over here drinking my McDonald's.
Through your large straw?
Do they give you, like,
I'm
what?
convinced that McDonald's makes their straws a little bit larger than everybody else so that you drink more soda.
I'm glad.
I mean, I'm sure it's just like an extra few cents they get per.
It just reminded me, though, that I had read a story about these guys, these Filipino-American guys who had seen in their local McDonald's, there was one wall.
I saw this.
How great is that?
It's so great. Tell everyone.
There was no signage. So they made their own poster of themselves. Like, it looked authentic.
Super authentic. It had like the graphics. They did like the kind of like a water, almost like a watermark of a geometric design overlaid on top so that it looks like it had all the right, logos on it. And they're both minorities, so it looked like, yes, McDonald's is definitely trying to be inclusive by including many different people on their posters, and they clearly look like they are loving the food. They were loving
it, and they put that poster up, and nobody noticed it had been up for like 2 months.
51 days.
Yeah, before anyone was like, wait a minute.
And they're like a picture with them with their thumbs up next to it, like...
How is nobody... Well, I'm sure people have done this before, like, just for their own enjoyment, but...
There was a story about an artist who... Okay, so there's a freeway in Southern California that has a really shitty entrance, like, it's very confusing on-ramp.
Yeah.
Like, there's been traffic accidents, there's been backups here forever, and people have always written to the city and been like, you need to add new signage, you need to add new signage, you need to add new signage. Never happened. So finally this artist was like, fuck it, I'm going to put up my own sign. I'm going to use all the same materials. He, like, crowdfunded the money to do it, puts it up, and it didn't get noticed but for months.
What was it?
Months. It was just it's like a freeway sign, like merge or, like, exit for this, coming up or whatever. Threw it up there. Like, the most helpful piece of graffiti ever.
Right.
And they ended up taking it down and, like, getting him in a whole bunch of trouble.
For real?
For real.
I wonder how they figured out who did it.
I don't know. I think through the crowdsourcing, the crowdfunding, and they found out who did it. But, to me, I remember reading that story and being, like, pissed that he got in trouble because so many people were grateful that he did what the city finally, like, should have done a long time ago. And I think he said he ended up doing it for less than what it would have actually cost the city to make the sign and put it up themselves.
Yeah.
So he's like, what the heck?
Yeah, what the heck,
I'm going to have to find that article.
Right.
'Cause that was a real thing.
I support all kinds of pranks like
Yep,
that. If
I
no
lo-
one gets hurt,
Right.
come on. And in his what?
Don't even
What? What are you
claim
mad
that
about?
because you say you do not like pranks and that I like a lot of pranks in which no one gets hurt, like my cereal
That's a
on the
good
bed,
point.
and you're like, no, I'm not having any of those shenanigans. So would you
Wait,
like to
what
go
did you
back
say
on your
about
statement?
serious?
Cereal, like the time where I covered their mattress with cereal and then remade the bed with
No.
a fitted sheet.
Somebody got hurt. That bed. The bed got hurt. I do
No
not.
beds were hard in the making of this prank.
But I should rephrase what I like are pranks where there's no victim.
Okay, that's true. That's
like
true.
a poster at
Okay,
McDonald's.
you're totally right.
Yeah,
No victim.
no
That's
victim.
a better way to word it.
Right.
Okay.
I'm
Touche.
sorry. If you put crap in my bed,
Oh my
it is
god.
not funny.
I could not imagine what I would not prank you.
Yeah, you would not.
I would definitely not. You have don't prank me written
Here's
all
the thing.
over.
You can't trick a tricker. Mm-hmm. And I will kill.
Yeah. Oh, and then you open up Pandora's box, and I would not want to be on the receiving
Adam
end
always
of
says
one.
that. He's like, it's not worth it.
Not
like,
worth it.
nothing is worth it because I will escalate. It's like,
Yes.
this is what I was trying to say. The other day we had this situation with our Brain Candy crush. They were mad about the Johnny porno, blah, blah, blah. And I just kept reinforcing, like, we're decent,
Yeah.
but we're also reality people.
Yeah.
So we are going to have an element of, like, let's up the ante here.
Absolutely.
Let's be hilarious or
Yes.
whatever. And people forget that because they think, oh, they're just like feminists and whatever.
Keep me away from water bottles. I will use it as a weapon in any way I can. That is straight reality star behavior if
Yeah.
I've ever seen it.
Well,
There's only one place I picked that up.
I went to the Grove the other day to go to the Apple store, and it takes a long time for me to get there.
Well, also you're going into like the heart of darkness for like somebody who's an introvert.
The heart of darkness.
Like you're going into
I
the
love
middle
the
of
Grove.
LA.
I love the Grove.
It's like
though.
crazy parking filled with millennials. There's a Forever 21 and an H&M. You're like, ah.
Yeah, it's crazy. And I went in and I had scheduled an appointment for 1 or whatever, and we went in, and the guy was like, yeah, your appointment's for Wednesday, like 3 days from now at 1. And so he goes, so see you Wednesday. And I go, do they train you to be smug, or does that just come naturally?
Oh, no, you didn't. What did he say?
And he was like, oh, no, I'm sorry. And I was like, because we just drove an hour and a half to get here, so you don't have to be like, see you Wednesday. Like, you could be nice about it. He was regretful.
Sounds like it. Oh, God.
So then we were leaving. I go, see you Wednesday, motherfucker.
Yeah.
Piece of
Don't,
shit.
Don't
Linda.
mess.
He's probably Linda's son.
Yep.
How about
yep.
that video about fuck
How
Linda?
about that? I was like, see, it is always Linda. And then somebody commented, like one of the top comments was like, it's always
It's
a Linda.
always Linda.
And I was like, we know. We've been on it for years.
She is a real problem.
I mean, what if it just were the same Linda? Who's
Right.
like real, kind of like that Tickle guy. You know how it's like he's running a whole
dynasty.
Yes. How she's like created, you know, and maybe like she's like George Foreman and she's named all of her offspring Linda too. So they can just be a whole swarm of like angry people, white women who want to speak to the manager.
right.
It's like the opposite of China where they murdered the girls. She just murders all boys and is like, I'm only naming them Linda. I only want girls. And they're getting short haircuts.
What haircut do you think Linda has?
One that looked just like Kate, you know,
Kate plus 8 or whatever.
Goslin. And have we, I mean,
Kate
some.
Gosselin.
No, it's not
Yeah,
it.
it is.
It is.
Yeah, I'm just laughing
But
about
like
it.
also Gosling and chicks and like there's a bunch of them. And have we put that together?
No, but you're right.
I mean, really. I was thinking that when I was doing the doodle the other day and I was drawing Mark Long and I was like,
Yes.
oh. Okay. I see you, Mark.
Our theory about last name holds up.
Yeah.
There's been several that happened lately. It's usually politicians, you know, like Anthony Weiner or whatever.
Oh, yeah.
And you're like, oh, of course.
Yeah. One of the top swimmers, and she went on to play water polo, I think at Stanford. Her last name was Fish.
No.
I was like, come on.
It's her destiny.
Destiny.
Uh-huh.
So, you know.
We haven't decided what your name means, though. You personally.
Me? What do
Sarah
you mean?
Rice.
Like rice?
Yeah. What is that about?
I don't know. That's a good point.
You're like substantive and filling.
Yes. Super filling, the base to any good meal. don't know.
You have
Great in a
strong
burrito.
What is not great in a burrito,
What?
but is great on your face,
What?
is BioClarity.
That's true. You probably don't want to eat it.
No, but you probably could
could.
because there's chamomile, green
Yeah.
tea, cucumber, licorice root.
Yeah, those all sound good.
But it's actually a 3-step
Put it on your
skincare
face.
routine, so that's probably the best route to
Yeah.
take.
Yeah.
And it's so great. It comes right to your door, and they have a clear skin routine, which is great for me. I have breakout prone skin, and they have an essentials routine, which is better for normal or dry skin. And now they have the masks. There's the clarifying and the hydrating masks, the Glow Getter. And BioClarity is delivered straight to you, and it's easy to use 3-step routine, vegan, gluten-free, cruelty-free. What do you want from me?
Everything.
Get started on healthier habits with your skincare. Just go to bioclarity.com. Our listeners get their first month for 50% off a routine, plus shipping is free, and it comes with 100% risk-free money-back guarantee. You just need to enter our code BRAINCANDY. That's bioclarity.com and enter code BRAINCANDY. Did you hear about the Chinese kindergarten class on first day of school brought in a stripper on a pole dance?
What? Okay, wait.
I love
Question.
it so much.
Is this anything like the old people's home who thought it would be a good idea? Is it like, no, there's no way you can swing the... Not the word I meant to use. There's no way that you can frame this.
The teacher claimed that she just wanted to introduce them to all different kinds of dance.
That's freaking... No.
And the best part is that there's a video, and this hooker, not literally, this woman in shorts and like a tight black tank top is doing her pole dance to like funky music, and like these kids are just like don't know what to even make of it.
Is happening? Wait. Okay.
It was sexual. It wasn't like...
Of course it was. I'm sure.
What if it wasn't at all?
She's doing the robot on like...
Right, but the pole's just there.
Okay. Follow-up questions.
Yes.
Did she do any other forms of dance before and after this?
They had other dancers that specialize in other kinds of dance.
Like what?
Well, they didn't show them because that's
Like,
not
okay,
funny.
if I were to say, Susie, please list to me 5 types of dance, you'd probably say modern, ballet, jazz, tap. You know what you wouldn't say? Exotic.
Exotic.
That's not listed in if you're signing your 5-year-old up for
you
dance
imagine?
classes, that's not an option. So it shouldn't be an no. What?
I don't understand how this happened.
Is this real?
It's real. And parents were like walking their kids out because obviously I would.
Obviously.
I know. How did this get greenlit? You know? Because you have to get, maybe it's different in China, but there's a lot of red tape here in the US of A.
It's just luckier over there.
Good one. Right? But she was like really focused, and there was a lot of knee work.
Her level of skill and her work on the pole is not really the issue.
No. She was very talented, but
That, yeah.
it was not the right place.
You know what they say? Location.
Sarah, what would you do if you brought your kid in and there
She's
was
got to go. She's got to be
Destiny?
fired. I mean, is this the teacher or the
Yeah.
teacher chose to hire this person? Either way, it's wrong.
The teacher chose to bring in this person.
Okay.
That would have been way funnier, though.
Well, then I saw that other video of some teacher who was recently let go because she posted a video of herself pole dancing on Facebook, and she was
that
fired.
her job?
No,
Like, was it her side job?
It was just like
For exercise?
yeah, like how they have all those.
What do you think about that?
I don't think
I don't
in that
think she should be
situation she should have been fired.
No.
So I was kind of like wondering if are we looking at something like that? But no, this woman straight up hired. Where in your mind do you think that this is a good thing to do?
Well, either the teacher was being provocative on purpose, or this woman is just totally out of her mind. Yeah.
Either way, she can't be with children.
No.
If you think that that's okay for a second, then you probably think freaking other weird things are okay too.
Yeah.
If this is like what you're doing in front of parents, what are you doing when the parents aren't there? I'm not okay with this.
Maybe there's a thing though where we need to bring pole dancing to the mainstream. Is there ever a way that you could pole dance without it being sexual? Or is the pole a symbol of the penis?
You know, I've seen a lot of celebrities who have poles in their house.
Yeah.
Kate Hudson, she's
But
got
it's
one in her
sexual.
bedroom. I'm sure. Because that
In her bedroom?
Yeah, and like in her bedroom bathroom, like it's like in her. I mean, the house is huge, so I don't know what room it is. It's some room that has a bathroom, and you know, is there a way for
It's
that?
inherently sexual.
It is,
right?
Well, in order to this, I do know because I did take one of those classes, and in order to grip the pole, you have everything I say is going to sound sexual. I can't even think of a way to say it. You have to have as much skin touching the pole. That's how you grip. You can't do it with clothes on.
Oh my God!
Like you can't do those moves in pants.
Okay.
You have to. Your skin grabs the pole and creates like friction so that you don't slip right down it.
Yeah.
So there's really no way to do it without being scantily clad. And then, you know.
Why is that the only time we ever use the word clad?
That's true. Same with like clandestine liaisons. I just love that phrase.
Right,
but it really only works one time in one scenario.
Nobody's ever another kind of clad.
Oh, that's a good point. Overly clad?
Never. Nobody is ever excessively clad. Okay, well, that's hilarious.
Yeah.
Do you want to hear about the history of mystery flavors?
Oh, my God.
So dumb.
Oh, well, I was going to bring you the science of the tennis grunt.
Let's do it.
So go ahead.
Let's do it.
Mystery
I like
flavors.
that better.
Mystery flavors.
Come
You
on.
started. You kicked it off.
All right, so I read an article on Medium. It was really good. It was by a PhD who works in the study of flavors.
Is the mystery flavor always pina colada?
No,
Tutti Frutti. Tutti Frutti. I feel like that's it.
Sarah.
Cherry. It's cherry.
No.
What is it?
The mystery flavor, especially if we're talking about like Dum Dums.
Yeah, Airheads is what I'm thinking of.
Yeah,
with the
same
question
with
mark.
them.
Same. It's always
It's
cherry.
just when they have a batch that's done and they bring in a new batch, and so there's a mix, and they don't, instead of ruining that amount, they just call it a mystery flavor.
So it really is a mystery.
It's more than one.
You know what? Those jerks, because they really pitched it as like we could guess what it was. Because I was always under the impression that like the mystery flavor is like the flavor is a mystery and we're not going to tell you what it is, but it is a specific flavor and you should just try to guess what it is. Like that's what I thought they were doing.
So sometimes
mystery is
that's
like they
the
don't
case.
fucking know.
Like when they run a contest.
Yeah.
Those are legit, but not with the Dum Dums or the Airheads. That's just dirty machinery.
That is so
They don't want to
annoying.
waste the product. So it's good that they don't want to waste it.
Yeah.
So let's celebrate that.
But I feel like I'm being duped like how they told me Skittles are all the same except for the smell.
That was a lie.
Lies.
Why do they do that?
So mean.
Although
Candy's
you're touching
just
on
fooling
one of the properties of these mystery flavors is they often make them white.
Yes.
So that your body is confused.
That is exactly the thing. When I picture mystery
brain.
flavor, it's always white with question marks on it.
Yeah, because if there's no cues visually, then your brain has less information, so it's more of like
Blank.
scary.
Whoa.
Yeah. But it was talking about how even the concept of mystery flavors is a 21st century luxury because our bodies are biologically programmed to only want to eat things you know what they are.
This reminds me of our cilantro chemical thing, how the brain goes to chemicals if it doesn't recognize it. Okay, yes.
And so to feel that you can eat the mystery thing and feel safe is like this new thing.
You with your taste bud privilege.
Right. And then it was talking about how the mystery flavor started with, let me see, it said, it began with ice cream, like back in, when they had like ice cream shops. And it wasn't so much about guessing the flavor as it was about naming it. Like you'd eat it and then they'd want you to name it something and then you might win.
Probably how Tutti Frutti came up with how they came up with that name.
Is.
They're like, what should we call this? I don't know, Tutti Frutti. It tastes like all of them.
That's so good. Yeah, and then it moved into candies, as you're describing, the Skittles situation. And then, but I would like a follow-up on the article because it said that began about 2002. And anything that started in 2002, I always want to know, if it's related to 9/11 and how we were feeling.
Oh, like nostalgia. We needed like
maybe
a little.
We needed comfort. We needed playfulness. I always wonder if that's the sort of underlying. Because why 2002? What was happening that made people want to go like, I'm going to have Skittles that are white and try to guess what?
Oh, weird. Is there, Jelly Bellies?
Yeah.
Do they have a Jelly Belly mystery flavor?
They should.
They
Yeah,
should.
they have that. No, they have the game where they have pears, and it might be vomit or it might be butter popcorn, and you don't know which you're getting.
Yeah.
That's just as bad.
Yeah, definitely. Nobody wants the booger flavor.
No, but everybody wants great sheets.
Yes.
And I know that I have the best sheets because I have Brooklinen sheets.
I do too, so I also have the best. So there.
Somebody Instagrammed me a picture of their new Brooklinen sheets and was like, these better be good. Because I live in Canada. I think she had to have it shipped somewhere.
Yeah, they're definitely going to like them.
Yeah, and I was like, don't worry. Yeah. Brooklinen is the winner of the best online bedding category, so you don't have to just take my word for it. They have all these reviews. Everyone loves them. They get better the more times I wash them. They get softer. They don't fade. And they cut out the middleman. So they have these luxury sheets, but you don't have to pay an arm and a leg for them, which is so great. And they don't all come in sets, so you can mix colors and match them. You can make your room more interesting that way. And the Brooklinen sheets I have are the best, most comfortable sheets I've ever slept on. Brooklinen.com is giving an exclusive offer for our listeners. Get $20 off and free shipping when you use promo code BRAIN at brooklinen.com. Brooklinen is so sure you'll love your new sheets. They offer a risk-free 60-night satisfaction guarantee and a lifetime warranty on all of their sheets and comforters. The only way to get $20 off and free shipping is to use promo code BRAIN at brooklinen.com. That's BROOKLINEN.com. Promo code BRAIN. Brooklinen, they're the best sheets ever. I'm not done talking about mystery flavors. Sarah's looking at me like she just witnessed a crime. Like, are you okay? Were you just shocked at my win?
No, I think I went somewhere in my mind for a second.
Where did you go?
I was just thinking about Brooklinen sheets. I was thinking about striped, and then I went to decorating my guest room, and then I was like, "Oh, wait, come back, Sarah! You're still."
I lost you.
I'm here. I promise.
That is funny. Well, okay, so here's what I want to say about the mystery flavors. So then they did this big Doritos contest.
I
Did you
remember
participate?
Did I in eating it? That's it.
Do you remember what it was? The first one?
Oh my god.
I don't know if they've done more than one.
It was something spicy.
Really weird.
Was it spicy? I want to say it was spicy.
I mean, maybe it tasted spicy.
No, what was it?
Mountain Dew.
What? Nope, I did not. That was not what I was thinking. I was thinking the kind where they had 3 different flavors, and they were like, pick which one is going to be the next. The next thing.
Yeah.
None of this Mountain Dew shit. What is that?
It was like Doritos Quest or something, and you had to go on this hunt to figure it out, and people loved it. I'm into it. I think it's cute. I wouldn't want to eat it.
We are into very different things.
Well, that's for sure. That's been determined. But I don't know. I think it's cute.
Do you think you would like geo-tracking? Why don't you do that with Adam and Lincoln?
Oh, I've heard about that.
Your family would love this.
Why are you against it?
I'm not.
What is
I
it
think
exactly?
it's a great idea. I just don't.
People leave things.
Yeah, so
and you have to find
there are
it.
clues, and you can go online, and then it's really cool because the clues are they're challenging. They'll be difficult, and
Can anyone do it?
Yes. And I was talking to one of the people in my cohort a couple weeks ago, and they were telling me that they do it, and they found a fake lemon in the lemon tree that when you opened it up had stuff inside. And so you knew it was going to be a lemon on the lemon tree, but you had to find the fake lemon, find the lemon, and it was so clever how they hung it to look like a real lemon.
Why aren't you into it?
Maybe when grad school's over,
you're booked solid.
Booked solid right now.
But you're not
I would
against
love
it.
a weekend to geo-track or hunt or whatever they call it.
It sounds so fun.
Super fun. And it seems like something Lincoln and Adam would really be into.
Yeah, we would be into that.
You should definitely do that. And
We
then
are
you
one
get to
of those
like
families.
hide your own thing and like write clues if you want. You can like it's
And
really
then
cool.
Where do you put it? Like the clues?
I think there's a website, like a geo-tracker.com or geo something.
Yeah, I'm into that.
Yeah, I thought so.
Do it. I'll get started on that. Pronto. All right,
Did you
tell
ever
me
do
that thing
scavenger
once.
hunts when you were little?
Just for fun?
Sometimes I think that my mom ran out of stuff and then would say, "Hey, we're gonna do a scavenger hunt. I'm gonna need 4 AA batteries," and would like make a list and send us around the neighborhood.
Oh my God.
And
you're
I really,
kidding.
now looking back, I'm like, I think we were just out of shit. She didn't want to go to the store.
And you would have to ask neighbors?
We my mom did scavenger hunts all the time. All the time.
I don't understand where she had the time for all this.
She worked in the film industry. It's 7 days on, 14
Question
off.
mark. Yeah.
Question mark. When your next job is going to be.
Right.
She was freelance.
And then what did you get if you won the scavenger hunt?
I don't
Just
remember.
Bragging rights.
Maybe. Like a list and a little bag.
You got a battery. One of
and
the
like,
batteries you can
yeah,
keep.
yeah.
Tell me about that grunt thing.
Oh, yeah. So this was, did you read this?
No.
It was in the New Yorker. The science of the tennis grunt. So with the U.S. Open
science.
happening right now, or just finished, they were looking at like, those noises that they all make. Do you ever watch tennis?
Yeah.
You're familiar with the...
Yeah.
And some of them get like really into it. I guess there was one Spanish guy who... He smacked the serve and he made a sound that almost sounded like au revoir.
No.
Yeah. Like
Every time?
Yeah.
That's funny.
And so somebody was like, I gotta like figure out what's
Yeah,
going on
yeah.
here. So people were saying like, does it make you hit harder? So these researchers, they're mammal vocalization researchers at the University of Essex in England, published a paper on animal behavior titled "Tennis Grunts Communicate Acoustic Cues to Sex and Contestant Outcome." And they found out that players' grunts that were lower pitched were the ones who were victorious. And when they're higher pitched grunts, they're the losing player.
Wow.
And these researchers were able to watch the U.S. Open without looking at them actually playing and predict who was going to win and who was going to lose based on the pitch of their grunts. And they see the same thing in animals. Like there's a red deer, I think it's the red something deer, and they kind of do this back and forth vocalization, kind of like a tennis match, I guess, if you will. Like they go back and forth with another male deer. And the male deer who's not as aggressive and is the more of like the beta compared to the alpha will mimic a more feminine tone because he wants to look more submissive. So he's a little higher pitched and a little more of like a female tone. And then that one is obviously the one who doesn't get the mate. It's the one who has the lower, more aggressive pitch. But they change their pitch if they feel like they're going to lose.
Okay. So the same player might have a different
Yes.
pitch each game.
Yes, depending on whether they're winning or losing.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. And they were looking at like specific players and their kind of pitches and things like that. Like Maria Sharapova, hers is very shrieky, like a bird of paradise almost, and it gets especially high when she's losing. And I watched her lose this weekend and last weekend, I guess, and it was definitely high pitched and almost like annoying. I was like, oh God. And Serena Williams, hers is very volatile and powerful, and her grunts go all the way up to 1100 hertz when she's losing and down to 500 or 600 hertz when she's winning.
Okay.
So she has a full range of like 600 hertz difference in her vocal ranges when she's winning or losing.
How did they know the causation in terms of what if your pitch is lower, that makes you win? How do they know that the pitch is the symptom rather than the cause?
Oh, that's a good question.
I mean, that's probably dumb, but
yeah, I would wonder if it's one of those things where they kind of play into each other, kind of like feeling like if you go into a job interview and you do those moves before,
right?
Like, what's kind of making you confident for the job interview? Is it the moves, or is it feeling confident for the job interview? Like, is it the voice, or is it knowing that you're going to win?
Yeah. Does losing make your pitch higher, or does the high pitch make you lose?
I think it's probably like you recognize that you are losing.
Well, that's
And
what it
as
sounds like. But
you
I
kind
wonder
of go
how
into
they
like
know.
a panicky mode.
Right.
And you start getting, and I would imagine, what you'd have to look at is how it changed with the spread of points.
Yeah.
if the spread of points is greater and you're definitely going to win, is it very low or, so interesting. Follow up.
Right.
Get on that, University of Sussex.
And then wonder what they would say about, because some of them don't grunt at all.
Yeah, and the ones who do, I'm like,
you're not into it.
There was one especially this weekend that I was just like, that is too much.
Really?
I think it was Maria Sharapova.
Really?
Like, that's too loud. But then, who cares? If you're in the U.S. Open, you do whatever you want.
Right, good point.
Yeah.
I'm going to introduce a guest.
Oh, yay.
I'm really excited about it. His name is Joe Navarro, and he wrote the Dictionary of Body Language, a field guide to human behavior.
Well, if that isn't a nice little segue right there.
Yeah. He's the best-selling author of What Everybody is Saying, What Everybody is Saying, and he used to be an FBI special agent.
Okay, this is great.
So great. It's a really fun book to have because it's what it sounds like. So it's the Dictionary of Body Language. So it's a list of body parts, and then when something is happening with that body part, what it could mean.
Oh my God. And you read this?
Yeah.
Well, I'm not playing poker with you anymore.
Well, you shouldn't have anyway.
Okay.
No, I do love poker. Although I don't think I'm good at that part of it.
But I bet you'd be able to read tells better after reading this book.
Oh,
you know what I
right.
mean?
Yeah. But like he talks about how, let's say somebody's maybe a suspect in a crime, that their behavior can indicate nervousness, but it doesn't necessarily mean guilt.
Good to know. Good. Because I'm always nervous and
Right.
rarely guilty.
And nervousness is what he says is a reason to ask more questions about that person and try and get more. But it doesn't mean like they definitely are a murderer.
Good.
But there were so many things in there that caught my eye and I found really helpful. Just like as he made really good points about how you can apply it to parenting.
Oh my gosh, I'm
Dating.
sure.
If you want to know if somebody's interested in you and you're on a date and you're like, I don't know. One thing he talks about is something called serenity in turmoil. And it's often referred to as narcissistic serenity. And it's basically like when someone isn't stressed but should be. And like they have a calmness that doesn't match the severity of the situation. And that is a sign of psychopathy.
Oh, yeah.
I know. And I was like, because he mentioned like certain perp walks of like Bernie Madoff and stuff. And they like,
Oh, yeah. I
why
see.
are you so calm?
And they're like
weirdo?
fine with it.
Yeah.
Oh, gosh. Yeah.
Stuff like that. But
There's a lot of perp walks like that.
right where you're like, oh boy.
I'm like, good. Glad you're going in.
Studies show that athletes' smiles differ noticeably depending on whether they finish in first, second, or third place.
They're grunting really high pitched and making funny faces in third place, I guess.
And the same distinction holds true for congenitally blind athletes who have never seen a smile on another person's face.
Okay.
It's in the brain, baby.
Wow, that's so cool.
It also talks about how like Botox kind of fucks up your ability to be read because those same signals aren't there. But one signal I will never forget is when Third Love told me what kind of bra I should be wearing and what size I should be wearing. And I don't love bras.
Yeah,
so
I don't either.
if I'm wearing one, it better be fitting right.
And real comfortable.
And real comfortable. And Third Love has the perfect fit. You can take the quiz online and just try one of their 70 sizes. They have half sizes. If you have unusual breast size or hard to find size, then they might be the perfect thing for you. They have a fit finder quiz. And they're just comfortable and high quality, which is really what you want in a bra, especially because I wear mine for a really long time.
Yeah. I think most of us do.
Right. Like that's
All
something.
day.
Well, no, I mean
like
for
for
years.
years. Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, my God.
All day.
Absolutely. I'm like, yeah, for like hours.
Third Love knows there's a perfect bra for everyone. So right now they're offering our listeners 15% off your first order. Go to thirdlove.com/brain now to find your perfect fitting bra and get 15% off your first purchase. That's thirdlove.com/brain for 15% off today. I misspoke and told someone on Twitter that our code was brain, but it's really the URL. It's thirdlove.com/brain.
Oh,
Just
okay.
remember that.
Good to know.
But anyway, I really enjoyed talking to this Joe Navarro, the FBI special agent, about what he's learned over his career about the body and how we use it without realizing
Wow.
it. And you can even kind of adjust maybe to do a little sneaky sneaks.
Yes.
So welcome to the show, and definitely check out the book, The Dictionary of Body Language, and his other book, What Every Body is Saying. Welcome, Joe. So first of all, I freaking love your book, Joe. So congrats on a wonderful book. You must be feeling great. How you feeling?
Thank you. Well, I'll tell you. Every time I write a book, I wait to hear if people like it or not, because you sit there and you fight for words, you fight for space, and you're doing the research, and then as people email and say, "Hey, I really love it." Just today, somebody emailed me and said that they were reading it at the airport, and he loved it because he was looking at the people sitting directly across from him. So that's pretty cool. Yeah,
that is so cool, and it is such a great place to put your book into practice, because people watching at the airport is fascinating, of course.
Oh, it's a great place for that, sure.
Well, you had written What Everybody is Saying, and everyone went bananas and loved it. And this is sort of the follow-up to that, but it can be read alone, really, because it's such a handy resource to have. And I imagine that your life is pretty weird in that people are probably... does this make people uncomfortable around you, where they have to... do you notice a stiffness?
Oh my gosh, yes. Well, first of all, thank you. What everybody was saying, what everybody is saying was written 8 years ago, or actually in 2008. So now it's been 10 years.
Yeah.
And it had about 140 behaviors in it. The new one, the Dictionary of Body Language, has 400. So, yeah, it makes people very nervous. I can't tell you how many times people will stand next to me and they'll say, I don't know what to do with my hands. Is this right? And I go, just relax.
Right, but whenever you are living your life, are you able to turn this off where you can just not be aware of people's behaviors, or are you constantly assessing?
No, that's a fair question. I have to say that, it's like software. It runs in the background. It's always on. If somebody asks me, can you break down somebody's behavior, I can do it. But, for the most part, on Sundays, I get together with my neighbors, and it's really about, is everybody comfortable?
Yeah.
And if somebody's uncomfortable for some reason, then, what is it? Is it because they got to go? Is it because, the dogs are too loud? Whatever. So we look for comfort and discomfort. But I honestly, I don't sit there and overanalyze people, although I'm tempted to. But, I'll give you an example. Sometimes you just can't help yourself. Like you'll run into a family and they have 3 daughters, and you'll notice that the mother crosses the leg, and so if she were to fall, because she's off balance, she would fall towards one of the daughters, and you're thinking, I know that's her favorite.
No,
because because we tend to cross our legs and position ourselves that we would fall towards that favored child. I don't say anything, but it really does stand out.
That is something I never thought of. That is bizarre, but we do this stuff.
Try it at Christmas or get-together, because I notice. And even like girlfriend to girlfriend, you can say, you can see who your best mate is
Oh my
when
God.
you're with a group of friends, precisely because you would fall towards each other.
This is
It's a lot of fun.
horrifying.
Well, it can, but you see the utility of it. You can read people and so forth. And the big one is empathy.
Mm-hmm.
When you can see that somebody has a need, somebody's lonely, somebody is sad, somebody's just down, somebody is heartbroken. When we can pick up on those behaviors and make that part of our life and say, you know what, I'm here for you.
Well, that's what I think is so cool, is that your book has so many applications. It can be, just a fun parlor game where you're just doing it, like we're talking about with the kid, who's your favorite friend, or it can be applied in the way that you're describing, where you can actually help people with whatever it is they're dealing with, or scoping out somebody who's bad news.
Yeah, there are so many applications. I'll tell you, I had a letter that was sent to me via the publisher, who was telling me about a mother who has a child who is on the spectrum disorder, and the child has difficulty reading body language, but she's been able to teach her son these very specific behaviors so that he is aware of what other children are doing. Like, he didn't understand why it is that when he asks people questions, they sort of raise up their shoulders, in that stereotypical, I don't know. Well, he didn't know what that meant.
Oh, wow.
And so she was able to teach him that. That's huge. That's huge for a young child who's starting out, or even a clinician who at a session I was doing said to me, nobody ever taught us in medical school about how when people are troubled by things, they touch their neck or they cover their neck. Wow. And he said, I asked a patient of mine a question. It had to do with her past history, gynecological history, and she was reluctant to talk about it, but she kept touching her neck, and eventually she did reveal that she had previous problems. And he said, I would have never known that if I hadn't known about the neck touching. And, oftentimes people are reluctant to say something, but their nonverbals reveal the truth of the matter. And so when I hear stories like that, it's gratifying that, when I'm up till 2 a.m. typing. So it's good.
Well, and it makes sense now. I never thought about it before, about how it is called body language, because it truly is a way of speaking without speaking. And a lot of what you talk about in the book is the way in which our words sometimes don't match the language of our body. And that if you can be aware of those inconsistencies, you can figure things out. Is that an accurate way to put it?
Oh, yeah, no, absolutely. And, when you think about seafarers, when people sailed across the world and they landed in new areas, they had to rely on the body language. And, I know a lot of people that travel and you may not speak the local language, but when somebody smiles and encourages you or welcomes you, or you look at the menu and you point and you arch your eyebrows, and that's what I want. And it is a universal language. There are many behaviors that we do that are universal, that we share. Those that I described, those welcoming, the smile, the art, the flashing of the eyes when you go, hey, how are you? those are the things that make for good relationships. And but it's also the language of love. Look at nobody gets married based on a curriculum vitae or a resume. When you think about it, it's attraction is based on nonverbals. It's based on those pupils that dilate when you see someone that you really like. It's the flaring of the nostrils because you want to take in their pheromones. It's the relaxing of the face. It's when the face changes from looking at someone to gazing at someone. And now you're transmitting, I'm interested in you, and all that takes place non-verbally. So it's a powerful thing that we often ignore
I think
when it comes to dating.
One thing that I noticed when I was reading your book, like when you would make those distinctions between staring and gazing and things like that, I thought, right, that makes sense. Like we all know these things intrinsically, but we maybe don't pay attention to them. And I love that about your book, is that now I feel more present and aware of my surroundings, which is such an awesome thing to be.
Yeah, I think it's something that we can all benefit from.
Yeah.
I wish I had known all these things when I first started in the FBI. It would have made my life a lot easier. But just think for a moment about when, I'm sure you've seen many times where a woman will touch her hair as she's looking at someone. Well, the fact that she touches the hair causes us to look. That's part of the orientation reflex, where we look at movement. But whether or not she exposes the inside of her wrist as she's doing it communicates whether she likes this person a lot or not. Those subtle things we sometimes miss.
Mm-hmm.
I remember in high school somebody saying to me, "You idiot, don't you know she likes you?" And no, I don't. I have no idea. It's like maybe she's looking at me because, I have a sweaty T-shirt or something. How am I supposed to know that? But so when you read about those things and you say, oh,
mm-hmm.
She was looking at me in this way, or I'm looking at her in this way, then that is communicating something.
Yeah,
so,
it's so insightful.
There's a lot in there for everybody.
I agree. And I think our listeners, we on the show, we often talk about the, fringe elements of society, which you go into as well, the sort of, sociopathic behaviors that are out of line with maybe normal behavior. And one of the ones that was particularly troubling was, I think you called it serenity and turmoil, where somebody's demeanor is so calm when it really shouldn't be. What is that?
Yeah, that's a good one. That's part of what we often see with psychopaths, where the world is crumbling around them. They're in deep trouble. You and I would be very humbled and contrite and so forth, and they just seem to be very cocky, very arrogant. Like nothing's bothering them. And in my experience, this is one of the things that I observed with people, malignant narcissists and with psychopaths, is that they devalue others. And so in doing so, they overvalue themselves. And so even when they're in deep trouble, they seem to have this sort of look of narcissistic serenity, and it's frightening because you'll see them where in a courtroom where the family that's been victimized, maybe they've lost a daughter or something, they're all crying and traumatized, and they just sit there like, let's get this over. And it's almost reptilian. It's like reptilian indifference.
Yeah,
it's very
it lacks a humanness.
nasty.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, so here's what I want to discern. Sometimes whenever you see someone on the news and it's the wife is dead and everyone thinks the husband did it, and we start sort of analyzing the husband's behavior and assuming he's guilty because maybe he doesn't seem that sad or whatever. Do you think that those are fair assessments, or that maybe some of the things in the book where you say people mistake nervous behavior for guilt? So I'm like, which one is it? Which should I think?
Yeah. Well, I think that's a very good question, and I think it's a very valid and important question. I think the first thing is we should not jump to judgment. At the same time, our role as humans is to assess behaviors, and there's nothing wrong with cataloging the behavior and saying, you know what, the wife or the children are missing. You know, why is this person not crying? That it doesn't mean they're guilty. Maybe it just stands out in our mind because maybe we would be crying. Yeah. Maybe they look too callous. Maybe their blink rate is too high. Maybe they're bothered by simple questions. Why is it that they're answering questions as though it was in the past tense rather than in the present tense? What I try to do is say, look, all these behaviors are important. Catalog them. Mm-hmm. If you sense there's something wrong there, then only use that to ask more questions, but not to say, he must be lying because there's no tears. Well, I know some people that just don't cry when they're stressed, but they break down in private. So I think we need to be careful with that. I also think we need to be careful because there is no Pinocchio effect. There is no single behavior indicative of deception. And, many times we do behaviors like we cover our mouths or scratch our nose when somebody asks us a question that's maybe too personal. But that doesn't mean we're lying. It just means that I didn't like that. Yeah. And so we ask more questions.
That's why your book is so great, though, because you take each of these things and break it down and say what it could be. And as you say, it just leads to the next question or observation rather than certainty about anything.
Yeah, exactly. Because look, all of us hide things, all of us conceal things, but not because there's anything criminal. It's just sometimes it's very, very personal, and just to be asked about it can cause a psychological discomfort. The other thing is, a lot of people have had traumatic experiences in their lives, and for someone to then ask anything related to those things to them, may cause a lot of stress. So I think it's important to make observations, but the inference that we should draw is not one of guilt or that they're lying, but rather, are there more questions that I should be asking so that I can get to the truth?
Well, you use body language as a way of learning about people, and we always ask one question to everyone that we think helps us understand that person, which is, what do you keep in the trunk of your car if you have a car?
What do I keep in the trunk of my car? That's very easy. Suntan lotion.
That's what you keep in the trunk of your car. I love it. What is the deal? You're worried about
because
sun exposure.
I live in Florida, and invariably people come to visit and they want to go to the beach, and they don't think about how hot it is and how they'll broil under the Florida sun. And so I always keep 70 SPF, and I always spray them because I say, you live up north, down here in 20 minutes you're going to be burnt. So yeah,
Wow.
I bet you've never had anybody answer it like that.
Not once. You are the first person to keep sunscreen in their car. That's great. I love it. I hope everybody reads the Dictionary of Body Language. It's a must-have, in my opinion, because it's a resource that people can look to over time, not just read it once and then be done with it, which I think is fantastic. So thank you so much for sharing that with us and for answering my questions and harassment.
Well, it's my pleasure. You're a lot of fun, and let's do it again sometime.
It's a deal. Thank you, Joe. You're off the hook.
All right. Thank you.
Have a great day. Thanks, Joe.
Take care. Bye-bye.